you teamed up to play some very good outfield back there in the late 80s and early 90s. Tell us about that Why Not season. What stood out to you most?
Well, I think what stood out the most to me was our defensive play. At the time, we were the youngest team in baseball, and we kept the ball off the outfield grass, and the infielders balled, and the pitchers were comfortable throwing strikes, in which they did, and it was really fun. That was, I mean, the premier year as a rookie to play in Baltimore, loving it, and to have a season like that with the fans behind us so much.
Devo, we know you put up some pretty good numbers, not only offensively but defensively also at the same time. But we've got a lot of new young guys, just like you were with when you came back in 1989. Is there anybody that kind of sticks out, that kind of, you know, that you can kind of like put your finger on and say, this guy's got a really good chance to be as good as you were, or some of the other guys you played with?
It's kind of hard. I haven't had the opportunity to really see the guys play this year because I'm coaching right now, and I just see a lot of the highlights. I just kind of see what their record is, and it's unfortunate for that. But all I have to say is, you know, back when I played, is that, you know, we really valued our defensive play and running out balls and just playing the game hard.
And we have a young player here, Cedric Mullins, who's taken over at first place, and he kind of reminds you, if you look at him, you know, of Al Bumbry. Do you think, and you experienced it, is it going to be hard for him to adjust to this outfield? Because a lot of people think this is a bandbox now and tough to play in this outfield.
I mean, the ball does carry a little bit here, and I think you just have to be confident out there. You have to learn to get good jumps on the ball, and I think the best way to learn that is to take balls off the bat during batting practice and try to get good jumps, try to anticipate the ball off the bat, and just consistently do that. It's amazing how much better you get just by doing that, and not try to just take advantage of it and just say that, hey, it's just going to happen. You really have to work hard on it to make it work out for you.
This team has turned out to be more active on the bases with stolen bases since August the 1st, when they acquired, brought Mullins up, and also VR was acquired. How much did you concentrate on stealing bases when you were a player, and how good did you get at it?
I think that back then we concentrated a little bit more than they do now, and I like to see it coming back. I love that part of the game. But we really worked on our speed, putting the pitcher under pressure, and also the catcher. And I love that part of the game, and I wish it would come back. And I'm really glad to see that happening. You know, a lot of activity on the bases, and that actually works into defensive play also. I mean, just a lot of movement, a lot of active players. You know, just a lot of things happening. Make something happen out there.
Mike, this has really been a tough year for not only the players themselves, but for the Oriole fans and the organization too. How long do you think, you know, with this young group coming in like that, will it take for these guys to turn it around? You guys seemed to turn that corner pretty quickly in 1989, and then all of a sudden things really started to get good. How long do you think it'll take to get these guys together?
Hopefully not too long. This is a crazy game, and when we came up in '89, anything can happen at any year. It's funny because when I came over here from LA, they were talking about we're one of the worst teams in baseball, which was that '88 team. And in '89, we came on strong, and so it's just to get the camaraderie together, just start off strong and just to stay positive, just to work hard. Mindset of the game. Yeah. But you never know. I mean, it can turn around on a drop of a dime. It actually can.
Mike, when you go back, you made the playoffs with Atlanta, and you were named the National League Championship Series Most Valuable Player. I mean, how do you feel about when that happened and the performance you had in the postseason, knowing that the Braves are going back now to the postseason this year?
Well, I think it's the best time of the season. Obviously, the playoffs. It's always a thrill to see your team go back, and it brings back great memories. There's nothing better than playing in the playoffs, and with all the pressure that's upon you, and hoping that you perform well, in which that's what it's all about. That's what you work so hard to accomplish in this game, and it's just great to see the playoffs and see the Braves in there.
Let's talk a little bit about how the game has changed since you played. Do you see the more strikeouts and more home runs? I mean, and you sort of think, how dramatically it's changed since then?
Yeah, it has changed dramatically. It seems like, they talk about as far as the velocity of the pitchers is a lot higher now, and you don't have the finesse pitchers, which to me are the toughest pitchers to hit. And they talk about this launch angle. Everybody's trying to hit home runs now, and the way I look at it is, you need to know how to hit before you try to hit home runs. You got to learn how to hit. And you might not know how to hit until you're 4 or 5 years in the big leagues. I mean, it's a process that you go through. And nowadays, it seems like they're teaching a lot of guys to try to hit or hit home runs and launch angle at a very young age. When I say young, I mean junior high, high school, and so they still have that little uppercut swing when they get to pro ball. And it's hard. It's very difficult to get those guys to come out of that because they want to hit 50 home runs when they get to the big leagues.